The first time I wanted to choreograph when my parents would take me to a lot of shows in Brussels, so ballet but contemporary as well. And I think seeing contemporary dance and seeing the possibilities, nothing is almost wrong, you can try anything. And I think that gave me the inspiration. As a child also, your creativity is so much bigger, you've all got these wild ideas, and I think that just made me want to create. Even in my bedroom, I was coming up with solos, I was coming up with these ballets in my head that I wanted to do. It wasn't like dance or choreography separately. For me, I saw it as one thing. You know, dance was an expression of what I wanted to say. But I think ultimately I did really want to be that swan in a classical ballet. It's really that ultimate technique that I really wanted to achieve and have as my base. And also they were all storytelling ballets. And I think the music just swept me away when I was young, and that's what I wanted to do. I think early on, I was always taking up every opportunity to create, and I did notice that male colleagues would get opportunities, maybe having only choreographed once. And I felt like I had to prove myself over and over again.
One day, I suddenly realized that after almost 30 years of being a professional dancer, I had never performed in a work created by a female choreographer. And there was an unease as an artist about this. And so very quickly after I became artistic director, I tried to use this amazing platform to give opportunities to women that were choreographing or that were interested in choreography. My first call was within the company, and it was very difficult. Most women did not want to come forward. Even those already with a career, they were very apologetic very often about their skills. They felt that perhaps English National Ballet was too big for them as a next step, or they had family responsibilities. It was very surprising because it was very much the opposite of the response that I will get whenever I reach out to a male choreographer. And so I thought that this was an example of what could not continue to happen, and that if I made a commitment to put those women on the stage, that other will follow. And that's exactly what happened. And we started with a program called She Said, about the female voice. And it was Annabel Lopez Ochoa, Asher Barton, and Yabing Wan.
I worked first time with a female choreographer when Tamara took over and she did the She Said program. So that was with Annabel Lopez's piece and Frida Kahlo. For me, the kind of awareness about female choreographers came at a really good time. It was really when Tamara came and there was this huge talk about female choreographers that I did get opportunities. Tamara's brought in a lot of contemporary choreographers actually. For me, it was very exciting because it was interesting coming from a classical background, seeing where they come from, and they bring so many tools, so many ways of creating material. So my work, Vera, came about with the centenary of the First World War. So 2014, the company created Lest We Forget, and we also had a workshop for in-house choreographic workshop. So it was based all on the First World War. And I read Vera Britton's Testament of Youth, which I found heartbreaking. It's a 10-minute duet based on the real core emotions of grief, shock, anger, and then eventually trying to move on. It was the first piece Tamara also saw me do. Being a dancer and a choreographer at the same time, it gives you a real understanding of what it's like embodying that work, knowing what it's like learning it, being able to physically try it yourself. Working with Akram Khan was a really big influence. He's somebody that's very vocal while he's creating. So he's saying, oh, this is working because of this, or I'm changing this because of this. So you're kind of learning and you can really see what's going on. Seeing how he brings out the humanness in a character and really embodying that as a dancer just really influenced my work. The events that led up to Nora was the choreographics workshops that I did, the years leading up to that. It was my big passion for years, and to be honest, I kind of given up. You know, my dream was to create a one act for the company, but I just thought, well, I don't think it's going to happen. And Tamara approached me on the stairs one day and she said, can you ever think about a one act piece for the company? You know, maybe let me know in 4 weeks' time. And then, you know, she walked up and I just had this moment of, oh my God, I think that was it. I think that was the moment. It's always difficult to get that, have those small opportunities, and then suddenly it's the main stage. There isn't much in between, and I think the scary thing is that moment where you kind of think, oh, now it's make it or break it for that big commission. It has to happen at some point, and Tamara gave me the opportunity. For Nora, I basically studied a doll's house for 3 years, so the pressure just kind of kept going up. It was a lot, but I put everything into it, and again, I was working with the company, with dancers I knew really well. I was very supported. I had a mentor, Kerry Nichols. I was in the kind of best place and I was ready to go for it. After Nora, I had a few more opportunities. I went to create a solo for Lauren Cuthbertson at the Joyce Theatre in New York. I also worked on an opera production, Vienna. And then I got asked to do Take 5 Blues from Tamara again. Take 5 Blues started during lockdown. I was listening to Nigel Kennedy's jazz album Recital, which is brilliant. We all were looking forward to getting back to in studio and creating material and having a good time. We were in very small bubbles, groups of 10 dancers. We don't even know if we're going to perform it, when we're going to perform it. We are just filming this for a camera at the moment, so let's do it for us, let's have fun. The film director came in and he watched it and he said, I love it, I want to create this almost 360-degree view of it, so we're not just watching it from one angle. So the feeling that we're almost in it. The piece is almost like a jazz kind of band. The way they play, the way they are kind of connected, and even though it's an abstract work, it's very much a playoff between the dancers, and it's really very much for themselves because we didn't know, we were kind of doing it for cameras. I think adapting it for stage just happened quite naturally. Not everything was seen in the film, so you kind of lose certain elements because you're wanting those close-ups with camera, but then actually seeing things from further away and seeing the patterns also brings a whole other element to it. Take 5 Blues was all about having fun. It's really about the process and about enjoying that process and about pushing yourself in that process, about creating a good environment with the dancers, about that journey and that involvement between you and having the respect between each other and your team. That's what it's about. Take 5 Blues just brought so many good memories, and I just asked Tamara, I said, I'd love to extend it. I'd love to make it one act, and she went, absolutely, let's do it. What really inspires me to continue choreographing is kind of explaining a certain emotion or a human connection that I really struggle with in words, and to really get the audience to connect with that emotion. And being a choreographer, you have a voice, and I think that's what I really like. As a dancer, you don't really have a voice. You're embodying what the other choreographer wants, but here I can really tell what I want, and it's just exciting. What you can do with it, it keeps developing, you keep learning, and it's exciting. At a certain point, it does get difficult to balance dancer, choreographer. You know, being a dancer is a full-time job, you know, the training every day, and it's that seeking to be better, to learn, and you know, so it does get difficult trying to juggle both. Balancing it became more challenging, and I have kept it up for a while, and I think it's time to go into choreography and really, you know, I have a real want to spend more time on it, so I'm very excited. I think the landscape of female choreographers and the opportunities have just really drastically changed.
I think we initiated a very necessary conversation that has changed actually the ballet world for the better, in that few companies today will program a season without female choreographers in it. We have commissioned over 40 works by women throughout the last 10 years, which I am very proud of. The conversation started beyond English National Ballet with other artistic directors. The press took hold of it, and now I think it is a momentum that is unstoppable. I think that genuinely the art form has changed.